I'm going to tell you three things that happened. Benign neglect, COINTELPRO, and Ministers Youth and Music. In 1970, Daniel Moynihan, who was an aide to President Nixon, said, black issues are getting too much attention. So he submitted a policy of benign neglect. We won't do anything to them, but we just act like they're not there. And so our interests got replaced with the interests of Indians, Mexicans, and Puerto Ricans. And if you come to 2015, add to that the LGBTQ community. So everybody is getting attention but us. COINTELPRO. COINTELPRO was the FBI counterintelligence program. And I'm going to read to you a little bit of information from a 1968 report. They listed as their goal, prevent black coalition, because in unity there is strength. Y'all hear that? In unity there is strength. They also said we are going to prevent the rise of a Messiah, somebody who could unify and electrify the black movement. And then they went on to say in this report, and we are going to prevent leaders from gaining respectability. And we're going to discredit them to the responsible Negro community. We're going to discredit them among both white communities, the responsible community and the one they call liberals. And they want to discredit us in the eyes of Negro radicals. They also used infiltration. Gene Roberts was an undercover cop, yet he was serving as a trusted bodyguard of Malcolm X. And he was at Malcolm X's side when he died. Ernest Withers, a trusted civil rights photographer, and the one photographer who did the most pictures of King, turned out he was a paid FBI informant. COINTELPRO also used psychological warfare, false media stories. So be careful when stuff come up in the media. And you need to question and ask why. Like, for example, and Pastor, this is kind of like what you got in my way. with Bill Cosby, when the story came out, my first question was, why now? If this happened 30, excuse me, or 40 years ago, why now? Then I thought about Roman Polanski. In 2009, 100 Hollywood heavies petitioned to have him not be brought back into the States because he was charged with assaulting a 13-year-old girl. So he's been living out of the country, but they say we don't want them to extradite him and send him back to follow those charges. But where's the magazine cover with him? One of his supporters, Woody Allen. So, but y'all know Woody Allen married the teenage adopted daughter of Mia Farrow. So I have to ask, if these grown women willingly went with Bill Cosby, whatever happened, I ain't saying one side or the other, but why is this so much worse than them messing with children? They use forged correspondence, misinformation, manipulation, and then they strong-armed parents, employees, employers, landlords, and other activists. You know, sometimes you wonder why somebody does something. Doesn't make any sense. But we don't know what's going on, what kind of threats have been made against them. COINTELPRO also had false accusations. They beat people, and they had political assassinations. Any of us who were living here on the West Side in December of 1969 know about the assassinations. We know about Fred Clark and Mark Hampton, not that far from here. I'm sorry, Fred Hampton, thank you. Thank you, Brother Rodney. Fred Hampton and Mark Clark. Brother Rodney, I am amazed at how much information he can retain. I have learned a lot from him, and I do have your books that I will return. But I think he's probably the most informed person that I know. I just can't retain. I have to have notes. But thank you. Hoover is quoted as saying that he would never allow black youth to reach the levels of the 1960s. He vowed to control our music, our youth, and our ministers to accomplish this. We can see what happened with the music. We've gone from the music of the 60s with the love songs and the crooner Smokey. Then we went into some of the movement music of the 70s and even the 90s with some of the movement rap. But then it went to the gangster rap and the negative rap. And there is a correlation. Some of the same people involved in the music industry that are telling these rappers these are the only songs you can record also have ownership in the private prisons. You know, they keep talking about the prison industrial pipeline. Well, they're gearing our kids up to just go to prison.